You're listening to Career Compass with Patrick and Cha-Cha on Base 101.1 FM.
My name is Cha-Cha, the one and only Happy Fairy. I'm joined by the almighty HR, the one and only Patrick Moore. Good morning.
Thank you. That's what I said every day of the week. You want to see me in the studio
Mistake,
every day?
mistake. Yes, I correct myself.
Just send an email.
And to see you every day. No problem, boss. No problem. Welcome to the show. Today we're talking about something that a lot of people get worried about. So I was recently talking to a friend of mine that, she has never... I don't remember the last time she had a job because she's been self-employed.
Okay.
And she has been... I told her, start applying to jobs. You're complaining about how business is not moving well, it's slow, and you want extra income. You want to know that at the end of the month, you're getting this amount of money to be able to budget. So I said, start applying, use so and so websites. And she did. And then she goes, they're not even responding. They're not saying anything. And I remember feeling feeling that same thing sometime when I was looking for other opportunities. I don't remember the last time I was out of a job, but I was looking for extra, and I was, sending messages. Some of them don't reply me. Some of them reply after a while. They ask me to do X, Y, Z. Me say if I ghost them, but there are also some that there was a conversation and next thing they stopped, and it got to me a little bit. I was like, why now? Even if I didn't need the job, but now we have people who need this job, and they're ghosted. You've done everything right. You've applied. You've gotten interviewed. Some of them have even followed up and nothing. Or worse, they get a rejection email. Even as I have a job now, the jobs I applied for last year.
Okay, you applied. Okay.
Yeah, no, the jobs I applied for last year,
Yes.
I've gotten rejection email. And when I see it, I say, "Oh, be this one, come on, get out," because I gotta. But why does rejection and ghosting happen so often in today's market, job market?
All right. Yes. So it happens to even the best of us. Even I. Sometimes at some points in my life, I looked at myself as a professional job applicant, because I was applying every single day. And, some recruiters were nice enough to get back to me, and some were nice enough not to. It happens, right? I'll say this. Sometimes it's not easy. Now, let me speak from a recruiter's perspective, right? You send out a vacancy and within, let's say the vacancy lasts for about a week plus, right? And then within that week plus, you have over 2,000 applications to go through. Sometimes if you have technology, way good for you. So your ATS, your applicant tracking system, could help you sift through the CVs, screen out those who don't meet with the job requirements, and with the click of a button, it sends an automated response to unsuccessful candidates. But not every recruiter can afford a savvy ATS. Imagine you have to, out of 2,000 applicants, right, you have maybe just 150 suitable candidates, right? So you have how many? 850 rejection mails to send. If you are doing it manually,
that's a lot.
If you start sending 1,850. If you start 8 a.m. today and you have to send out one,
that's a lot.
That's a lot. So sometimes the recruiters are just overwhelmed, right? And then that's just for one job campaign, right? Let's say you're running 10 job campaigns. So you have multiplied that by 10. You have 18,000, right? You have over 18,000. Yes, you have over 18,000 emails, rejection mails to send. And then you still have to send mails to the successful candidates, moving them to the next stage. So sometimes I just speak on behalf of recruiters. There's a lot to deal with, right? So, ghosting is their response, is their way of rejecting, right? So not that I think is right, but I think it's what it is sometimes. Some companies, if you're not even going through a recruiter, some companies just do not have any structured communication process. They don't have a means to ensure that feedback is given to unsuccessful candidates. And sometimes even when it comes to rejection and ghosting, sometimes it's not about you. it's wrong, but I'll say this. Sometimes the company already know who they want to hire.
True.
The entire recruitment exercise is just a box ticking,
Say we've done it or
yes,
we did it.
let's not be as if we just gave the job to our person. So they're just going through the motions. They know who they want. All right. So it's not about you, right? It's just what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
But how do you advise, or how can you, tell, or what can you say to job seekers to stay motivated after repeated rejections? Because sometimes you start to feel, am I not good enough? What is wrong with me? And that plays a lot on the mentality. So if someone keeps applying and applying and applying and they keep getting rejected, how can they stay motivated?
Okay. I know this may sound insensitive, but life is tough. Get a helmet, right?
Wow.
So, but look, seriously, we don't receive rejection. As in, you should grow a tough skin, right? Grow a thick skin, rather. So this is what I do. Reframe the experience. Don't look at it as a rejection. Look at it as a redirection. It wasn't meant for you.
Right.
I know this can be very painful, especially those job opportunities that you've gotten to the final stage. You've met with the you've met with the CEO. You guys literally had lunch. He offered you tea, coffee. Everything went almost perfect. And then the silence. Those are the ones that pain the most. Like, look, did you have to even offer me tea, coffee in your office?
I mean, you should have just told me.
If you're not interested, you have told me.
Like, make I just go my house.
Thank you.
They dream.
Yeah, so those ones I think are the most painful ones after having gotten so close to the prize and then silence. So, like I said, look at it as a redirection. It wasn't meant for you. If it was meant for you, especially when you did your best, you did everything you could humanly possibly do, then you just know that.
And spiritually, some people.
That's spiritually. You prayed, you did everything, and I mean, you put on your best suits, but it didn't happen. It wasn't meant for you. Again, track your wins. So this is what I do to stay positive, right? I first of all, I look at it from this perspective. Out of all the people that applied for all the people looking for jobs, I saw a job to apply for. I'm grateful. Out of all the people that applied for this job, I was invited for an interview. I'm grateful. Out of all the people that were invited for interview, I got to the final stage. I'm grateful.
Right.
So I don't look at it from the negative point of view that, hey, some people are there, they don't even have jobs to apply for. Some people are applying for jobs, they don't even get called. Some people are called, they don't get to the interview. Some people don't. So I'm even getting to interview stage. Oh yeah, then that's something to be grateful for. And then celebrate the efforts, okay? I mean, just going for an interview is a win in itself.
It
because
is.
you keep getting better.
Right.
And you know your worth.
Right. Just in case you've been ghosted before, you need to listen to know how to act, because I know that your brain is just doing ta 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 ta. So there's some practical steps that you need to take to bounce back after being ghosted. What do you think, or what would you say they are? All
right. I think I said this last week. Rule number 1, thou shalt not stalk the recruiter. See, as a recruiter myself, I've been stalked by candidates before, and it's not nice. It's just not nice. The every happy new week, happy new month, happy new day, happy you, the calls. In fact, one candidate called me and it got to a point, it was even now asking me, begging me for money. Yes, it's that bad,
Oh my God.
So look, now do you think if I have any job offer?
No, you wouldn't.
I definitely wouldn't, because this guy just
put a bad
reeks of unprofessionalism, so please, I know no matter how tough your situation is, the recruiter is not your family member, is not your church member, is not your friend. He doesn't need to know all that information. Yes, you have issues. Do you know the issues the recruiter himself has? So look, don't stalk, don't just, you could follow up once or twice professionally and politely, and that's it. All right. If they need to get back to you, they will get back to you, and just let the process run its course. Okay, don't dwell on it. Look, move on to the next opportunity. All right, let me tell you the truth. Yes, I've had a very successful stint in my career to an extent, but do you know how many rejections I've had? It's just like, if I may borrow from this analogy, this guy Giacomo Casanova, right, the supposedly most celebrated playboy ever, right? Yes, he celebrates the fact that people celebrate the fact that he had intimate relationship with over 200 women, but nobody celebrated the fact that, do you know how many rejections that guy had?
Must have had a lot.
He must have had a whole lot. In fact, they said he nearly committed suicide over one particular lady that rejected him. In fact, that was the only lady he was ready to commit to a monogamous relationship with.
Oh.
And that was the lady that, is that his villain story or something? So even the best of us, the best professionals out there, your mentor, the people you admire in industry, look, they have their own tales of rejections. They have their own tales of, recruitments that they started and fell through, didn't
Work out.
Yeah, it didn't work out. So, dust it off, don't dwell on it, and quickly move on to the next opportunity. Quickly refocus your energy, update your resume, update your LinkedIn profile, learn a new skill, expand your network. Just keep it moving. Don't stop and dwell there.
You were speaking about someone being desperate. So how can job seekers maintain visibility? How can they be seen? How can they stand out without seeming desperate?
Yeah,
there's a thin line between wanting something so bad and being desperate. Good.
So desperation would be evident in how you stalk your recruiters and stalk opportunities. No, but visibility is just putting yourself out there, courting attention, and you can do that through different ways. I like to say, social media, not just LinkedIn. You bag a new degree, put it out there. You attend a training or an event, you put it there, put the learnings. You volunteered on a project. Just document, share your thoughts. You could put out thought leadership content. Okay, just things to promote yourself as a professional. Attend events, okay, industry conversations, groups, professional groups, things that put yourself out there, create that visibility and attention around yourself in a general sense. But desperation is when you now, this person advertises vacancies in this platform, and you now start harassing this person with all those happy new day, happy new month. Nah, it's
Don't
not
do
going
that.
to. It would you just reduce your steez, you reduce your
We don't
value.
want that.
We don't want that.
We want packaging.
You spoil your packaging. That's it. Yeah.
No, still on that. A lot of people do not realize that you need to be emotionally intelligent sometimes for certain things. And I feel like emotional intelligence sometimes plays a huge role in handling rejection. What do you think it plays? What role do you think it plays?
Yeah, I think emotional intelligence plays a major role in how you're able to handle rejection. First of all, nobody likes to be rejected. Okay, rejection hurts.
It does.
And in any way, rejection just cannot come out right. So recognize the fact that, I'm going through the pains of being rejected, and deal with it. All right, grab a drink, read a book, watch a movie, do anything that will help you get over that feeling of rejection, and then put yourself in the recruiter's position. All right, they're human beings too. Like I just said, this recruiter probably had over 2,000 applications to go through, and he may not just have been able to go through yours
At that time,
in intimate detail. And
especially now with technology. You mentioned technology earlier, and I just realized that sometimes some people do not read through. They just have like automated responses, and they pick up on some certain words that you might have used in your CV,
and that was it.
Yeah, and this thing just goes off. So sometimes it's not about you.
It's not. But you never know. The recruiter was probably dozing off when he was going through. It happened to me. Like, I'm going through over 2,000 applications, and sometimes my attention just
drifts off.
And I just click next. So it may not really be.
It might
about
not be
you.
about you. So have that in mind. Don't let it stress you too much. But there are 2 or 3 things I bet that someone can do starting tomorrow to improve their job search mindset. What are those things you feel like I could? Well, I'm not looking for a job. My person listening right now looking for a job.
A friend of yours. You're asking for a friend.
Yes, I'm asking for a friend.
Okay, so for Chacha's friends and fans and family members out there, set a daily goal. Okay, every day try and do like 1 or 2 applications, reach out to 1 or 2 contacts, put yourself out there. Just do something every day. All right, beat the resist the temptation to be lethargic, right? It's not, don't sit down and say, if it's my own, it will come to me. It will not come to you. Go
if you don't
there,
put in the work.
do go there, look for it, ask, knock, kick down doors. Okay,
Kiko, then we'll arrest you.
but just keep putting yourself out there. All right, I would say this: practice makes perfect. I attended interviews so many times. You could wake me up from sleep and say, oh, there's an interview, so long as it's for my position, right? I can wake up from sleep and confidently go for an interview. But it didn't start that way. I remember early in my career when there was an interview I went for. I don't know if I've mentioned this before. It was a panel interview, and once I entered the room, it was a room filled with a bunch of old men with their glasses on the bridge of their nose. And then, one is asking me a question. I've not finished answering that question. Another one is asking me another question. Another one is telling me, okay, there's a white marker board here. Ask me a question I have to write on the board. And at a point, I just froze. I froze.
I go shout, hey, now one kill
I'm
me.
serious, see, Chacha, I froze. They asked me a question again, and I was just looking at them like this. I turned to baby. I'm serious, yes, me, Patrick. I turned to baby. They're like, can't you answer? I just said no. They were surprised.
It was
they
too
looked
much.
at me. Yes, it was too much. In my mind, I said, let's just finish this interview. I want to go home. I'm serious. Guess what? They offered me the job.
Imagine.
I turned it and I said, lie. I'm not going to work with those. I mean, no.
It was a lot. Thinking about it, I can see your body now.
No.
You're reliving the moment.
See, Chacha, I'm not lying. I kid you not. I left that interview in tears.
Oh.
I called my mentor crying.
Oh.
And she was laughing at me. She just started laughing. And she said, Patrick, let's bet they're going to call you to make you the job offer. I was like, no, it's not possible. And they did. I was surprised. My mentor was right. So, but since then, practice. Now, which interview? Which question do you want to ask me? So
3 + 4 + 7.
is that interview question?
You said you did ask that.
Okay, that's not related to
It's
my
not
job
related.
as HRK. So yes.
Sorry. Like you mentioned, you walked away from that interview, walked away from that job offer because you saw how they were. Now, what are some red flags during the hiring process now that you think or might signal ghosting ahead? I mean, somebody is on their way to an interview right now and they might be ghosted. So what should they look out for so go shock them when they don't hear anything?
Yeah. So yes, there's some telltale signs that probability of ghosting is high. Okay, so the first one is a disorganized interview. So they call you today and ask you if you are free for an interview later today. As in, you'll be like, wait.
That's how. Do you know my schedule?
It happens. It just shows that they don't have value for your time. And I don't want to say they are very self-centered. So it's a case of, this time is convenient for us. Is it convenient for you? Then if it's not convenient for you, then move on. So, a disorganized interview, you come in for the interview and then you're already being kept waiting like 30 minutes again before the interview starts. It just shows that these people are not organized. So don't be surprised if they're not still organized enough to be polite to get back to you on the outcome of the interview process. Okay, and then if they're vague in their communication, so I mean, at the end of every interview, you should be able to ask, what are the next steps? How soon do I expect a feedback? If you receive a vague response to that, it's a very clear sign that this is very likely that you're not just going to hear from them. And finally, I'd say, look, any form of lack of follow-up after the interview, no one reaches out to you within the promised timeline. So if they said, oh, we'll get back to you by Monday, right? By Monday, nobody reaches out to you in any way. It's a clear sign that it's very likely that you're
not go see them.
You won't hear from
see their
them.
brake light. Now, there's something that's quite common most recently. Like we did say from the beginning of the show, it messes with your head, your mental, your confidence when you get rejected especially from a job interview or even an audition. So how can people who are looking forward to getting some opportunities protect their mental health during a long and uncertain job search?
So, I mean, nobody was meant to be alone. You don't have to go through life alone. So during that process, I always say seek support. Seek support from friends, family, loved ones. You know, they will be there to encourage you, pray with you, and keep you positively motivated during that waiting period.
What if you're a loner? You don't have people around you.
Can't have nobody around you.
Sometimes you only have yourself.
Church members,
Sometimes you only have yourself.
Members,
sometimes you only
family
have yourself.
members.
Sometimes you only have yourself. I think get bad character.
And then that is a problem. You've used your bad character to chase away everybody. So then you know that myself. If you're all by yourself, that's a red flag.
Well,
it's a red flag on its own.
You don't think people should practice self-care if they're by themselves?
Yeah, so there's a place for self-care where you take care of yourself, you do something that will relax you, watch a movie, go to the gym, spoil yourself, take yourself out.
I like the sound of that, except gym.
I mean, different strokes for different folks. What is relaxing for one person may not be relaxing for another.
True.
Go swimming, jogging, get a dog or a cat.
Okay, that's better. I mean, jogging and swimming, that's so much stress.
Go for a massage.
I like that.
I know. I see the type of things you like. Okay, so all those things will take your mind off it, and keep you focused on, some of the positives in life. And finally, I'd say, look, set boundaries. Allocate specific hours for job searching to avoid burnout. Because there was a time I spent the whole day morning 8 o'clock to 4 p.m. Job searching. You get frustrated.
That's a lot.
Yes, I've done it. I've been desperate like that before.
Talking about the boundaries, like I mentioned last week, my brother had a long phase of searching for other opportunities. But I noticed that he was giving himself specific times.
Yeah.
And that time was even in the morning. He's like, I'm using this morning to do it. Then the next time, nobody's touching the TV. He has to watch his football. He has to watch his news. He has to do, some other things. Or, he has to make out time to disturb me and my sister. So that he just schedules his time like that. So I think that people need to learn that rejection happens. Yeah. And in conclusion, what would you say?
Like you said, rejection happens. It's part of the game. Okay. Learn from it. Each rejection can be an opportunity for improvement as long as you remain honest with yourself and you can identify your weaknesses and areas of improvement.
Come on.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. So this morning, like I said earlier on, it is all about moving, getting things done, getting up and creating those opportunities. And it just falls in place with what we're talking about. Just in case you get rejected from an offer or a job opportunity or whatever it is, like he has said, it is part of the game. Now, so we did. It is part of the game. And if you can't learn from your rejection, you have a little problem. I'm sorry. I don't think you would have wanted me to say that, but similar, I say something they worry you if you can't learn from your rejection. I have learned so much from different things that I've tried to do and got rejected. I know I'm amazing. They do say, how can they reject Chacha? But I have learned these things and they have stuck with me in this life. Thank you so much again, Mr. Patrick.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You're listening to Career Compass with Patrick and Chacha on Base 101.1 FM.